This here is the parting off tool of my new Dixon tool post, and that's Dixon with an X, not with CK. So it's probably a Chinese made knockoff, or maybe an Indian one, I don't know. It's mostly the same as the original one, although the parting off blade is a little thinner, and this one is flat on the underside, while this one is stepped. For the rest they more or less look and work identical. There is, however, one big problem with this. It cannot be set high enough on my lathe. As you can see, it's not getting anywhere near center height. And it's the same with the original Dixon parting tool. I guess you could set the parting tool just a little bit higher. This is pretty much the maximum, but then you will be above the tool post, and you will lose some rigidity, but it doesn't really matter as it is still below center height. So either the lathe is too big or the tool post too small. Anyway, as it is, this is pretty much useless. But I think I can modify this so it will fit this 12mm boring bar, and that will free up this holder. So maybe I can mount a fitting parting blade, or perhaps a grooving tool. But let's first do a file test and check the hardness of this thing. If the file won't touch the metal, this idea is not going to happen. It's not totally soft, but probably soft enough to go forward. I'm going to use my Banggood phase mill to remove this lip here that used to support the underside of the parting blade. It's no longer needed, so it has to go. The inserts in the phase mill are the standard ones that came with the phase mill. They are not very good and have been slightly used. This pointy bit is missing a little chunk. But let's see what they can still do. I got some blue nano milling inserts to replace them. Supposedly they are made for cutting hard stuff. Alright, I'm ready to go. I will try and keep my distance from the hot chips, and I will recommend safety glasses because they will probably fly everywhere, although most of them will be directed downwards. But it's kind of hot here and I'm not wearing too much clothes. I got some bare feet in my wooden shoes, and I don't want to introduce them to some sharp chips. That's a really light cut. A bit more substantial. And maybe some lubricant. That's weird. I'm not seeing or feeling any chips. Looks like it's not really touching. I'll see if I can clamp it a little harder, and then I'll try again. I'm pretty much ready for the second attempt. Hopefully the clamp has been set a little tighter this time. Here we go. That's better. The hot chips are hitting my arm, so something is happening. And that was another one very close to my ankle. Hit in the knee. Trying to extend my arm a little further. That was a spark. So this stuff is hard. Nice finish. That's pretty good. I guess the inserts held up okay. Alright, I'll take a few more cuts. If anything interesting is happening, I'll bring you back in. Chips are nice and blue. I'm surprised at the finish I'm getting. It's very good. Almost mirror-like. The floor here is littered with these tiny chips. Sorry, no autofocus. I got loads of them stuck underneath in my wooden shoes. Pretty annoying because these sharp things will get everywhere, and I will probably have to fix some bicycle tires later on. For this next cut, I tried to set the depth to this surface underneath the lip. Let's see what happens. Here we go. More sparks. I must be cutting into something hard. Maybe the holder wasn't completely square to the face mill. Yeah, it's been cutting a little deeper on this side, and that's probably why you saw those sparks. Anyway, the lip is gone. And if this is not completely square, it shouldn't matter. I'm going to stop for today. I'm going to hit the shower because I'm sweating like a pig here. I'm glad that heat wave is nearing an end. I'm not made for 35, 36, 37 degrees. It's the next day. In fact, it's the next evening already. And today was a lot more comfortable. Although it still got up to 30 degrees. And it's still rather hot in here. But I want to try and get this project finished. Maybe tonight. I had to take another cut to clean up this side, as the previous cut was a bit crooked. After some filing around these edges here, it now looks a lot better. It actually took a lot of effort to file off all the burrs, because the metal is definitely harder than I expected, and I got lots of sparks on the last cut. I must say that I'm a bit surprised that these used inserts did so well. For my next step, I was planning to weld up this low section here and then mill it flat. Then I would have a bit more material to fit the 12mm boring bar, because it's not going to fit like this. But to be honest, I'm a bit worried about this thing warping. So I've decided to fill up the screw holes with a little weld and then mill the whole thing flat and fit a smaller boring bar. I don't think that filling up these holes will warp things. Alright, here we go. Wish me luck. Probably not a good idea to do this in shorts, but here we go. Alright, that'll do. I gotta adjust my welding helmet. It's set to grind. Good. That'll work. I will leave this to cool for a while. Get myself a cup of tea. Maybe kill the damn fly that has been buzzing around here. The default inserts seem to be doing fine, but I decided to install some new blue nano inserts. These are test samples that I got for free, so I need to test them at some point, even though I had planned to use them in another video. But I guess plans change all the time over here. Apparently these are made for milling hard metal, so let's see what they can do. I'm hoping for some pretty sparks. Alright, here we go. I should be taking off a couple of tenths of a millimeter. And action. I don't know, but it sounds like the cut is getting lighter. Something's wrong here. I'm ready to try again, but things were definitely not lining up. Hopefully it's better this time. We'll see. By the way, I did manage to kill that annoying fly. But now it's brother and sister out here. And I suspect they are planning some kind of revenge. I'm not sure, but I'll take a few more cuts and after that see where I stand. I'm only cutting this side, this I'm not touching. Looks like I hit the weld up a little bit. You could also hear that. Well, this is going to take a while. I will bring you back when I'm further along. The lathe is getting harder to turn. This spot is a little easier to turn. It's kind of weird, and now it gets harder again. The bearings are not really warm. There's a little heat in here, but maybe 25 degrees, not warmer. I guess I will pick this up tomorrow when things have cooled down. I readjusted the bearings and now the spindle spins a little freer. I guess it was still set up in winter mode. I've been taking cuts of about 3/10 of a millimeter, and progress has been slow, but I am cutting this part as well now. I guess I will continue this tomorrow evening. I'm just hoping I will be able to drill a hole through this hard stuff. Oh, and so far no sparks. It's still the same evening, and I'm hoping to get this done before I go to bed. It's probably still too warm to go to sleep anyway. And this might be the last pass, or so I hope. Can you hear them? They're after me, I'm sure. First starts. Huh. There seems to be a little bit of a welding failure there, but overall it doesn't look too bad. Too bad about this welding failure. I don't really like that. I could try it again, but I don't really like that either. I guess I will accept it like this. Alright, I'm going to stop for today. That pesky fly is driving me crazy. Let's quickly have a look at the inserts and how well they have held up. This is number 1. That seems to be missing a bit of coating. Number 2. That might actually be missing the pointy bit. Number 3. That's missing a huge chunk. Maybe the insert was larger. They don't have very tight tolerances. And number 4, also missing a piece. Number 5, coating almost gone. By the way, if someone knows what this blue nano coating is, I would be interested, because I cannot find very much information about this blue color. And to be honest, I have suspected that the blue color might be decorative. Same deal here. That's the last one, missing the coating. But still, they did a reasonable job. Although I cannot say they worked much better than those cheap inserts that came with the face mill. And they hardly had any spark. That's kind of weird. Maybe the metal was softer. I've been filing for a while, but this is really hard. Although my file isn't the best in the world. And now I gotta do all the other sides. And here's the result so far. It is upside down, so you can see both machines' surfaces. It's not up to Stephen Godwinter's standard, but for an uber amateur like me, it's reasonably acceptable. I guess now comes the hard part, literally, and that's drilling and reaming a hole through this relatively hard metal, so I can fit this 6mm boring bar. Let's see. There is about 8.5mm of room next to the height adjustment screw, and the height adjustment screw is only a bit more than 9 centimeters deep. That's less than I expected. I've got things all set up, and I will be drilling close to the height adjustment bolt, and that will leave the outside wall here a little thicker and stronger. Although I'm almost below the height adjustment screw. This here is my only cobalt center drill, and I'm hoping this holder will only be hardened on the outside. Wish me luck, because I have a feeling it's going to go all south from here. I'm going to run the lathe at 900 RPM. That's really hard. I wonder if I can push the holder forward using my tailstock. Alright, I'm going to try again, this time pushing the carriage forward using the tailstock and the rack and pinion. That's doing very little. That's like only a little dimple. I guess I'll try again. Not much else I can do. I think the tip of the center drill is gone. Let's waste the other side as well. I got nothing to lose and everything to gain. 550 RPM this time. That's not going to happen. Let's try drilling a hole using one of those fancy high cobalt mango drill bits. At least there is a little dimple, so it should start at the correct position. It is going nowhere. I need to come up with another plan. This is a kiln, a piece of technology used by the mud people to bake their pottery, and I'm going to try and see if I can use it to soften up a piece of metal. Now this old kiln doesn't have a pyrometer, but it uses these ceramic cones to regulate the maximum temperature, and the cones that I bought go up to 842 degrees Celsius, and that should be enough to soften up some metal. I read the rather vague user manual and watched a couple of YouTube videos, and I think I more or less understand how this is supposed to work. The ceramic cone gets placed in this holder here, like this, and when the temperature gets high enough, and for this cone that is 842 degrees Celsius, it will bend like this. And then, if it is bent, this lever here will come down, and that will switch off the kiln. You can vary the cooking time a bit by moving the cone left or right. So place the lever on a thicker part or on a thinner part of the cone. Well, that's basically it. Wish me luck. It's more or less a day later, so let's see what I have cooked up. Oh, that's pretty black. Just like my regular cooking. It's kind of weird. It looks like something baked off. It's probably going to be hard to make this bright again. Anyway, it doesn't look too bad like it is. I will quickly remove all this crud, and then I'll see if this thing is drillable now. It looks like a little bit of rust there. Looks like it is still fitting perfectly, so nothing warped because of the heating or the welding. Happy about that. Alright, time to drill. Look at that, beautiful. Not a problem. Just what I hoped for. This is another one of those fancy tipped cobalt drill bits. Brand new one. Let's see what it can do. Oh, it's 5.5 millimeters. And breaking through. Now it's time to ream that hole to 6 millimeter. Done. I'm going to do a little cleanup and then it's time to test fit. I cleaned out all of the chips. Well, I hope I got them all. Well, that fits. That's good. Although it seems to be a little looser than I would have liked. No problem, the set screws will take care of that. I must say I kind of like the color, and I'm not going to bother cleaning it up and making it all bright again. This will serve as a nice reminder. I'm using my old tab and die set again, because it has tapered tabs. Besides, the M5 thread is hardly used, so it has still got all its cutting edges, unlike the M6, M8 and M10. I especially like this taper tab for lining up straight into the hole. The material really is rather soft now, as I can do this single-handedly. Next I will probably use the bottoming tab, as I probably cannot go deep enough for the regular tab. All of the holes have been threaded. Just too bad that I don't have any more of these longer set screws. Although somebody once told me that the first 3 threads do like 95% of the work, so I don't think it will be a problem. I did have to re-ream the hole by hand, otherwise the boring bar would no longer fit. Catched it. longer set screws would have looked better. It is what it is. I guess this one is also needed. Maybe I should use a little bit of Loctite for this one, or some CA glue. Maybe later. That's it. Done. Finished. Ready to use. And I think this will be a good new addition to the shop. I hate that word, shop. It sounds pretentious. Anyway, I guess that's it for me. Till next time.